Having all three here is a very great revelation for me because, again, my daughter Sierra came surprisingly. I didn't know that she was coming here today, or I didn't know she was coming to see me. And so when I got the call that she was here, I was shocked. But do I feel great? I feel great to see the feminine me in three dimensions, one at 14, one at 18, and one at 20. So that's me in the female version. Yeah, right? It's the second self of me. So it is an interesting dynamic. Most people who see this will probably bug out because I said what I said. But when you grow up in the knowledge of yourself, you begin to recognize that the other self, the feminine self, is a very realistic portrayal of you in another world, kind of, sort of. So for me, it's a great feeling to be with my children and to be with my daughters. um, I didn't raise Sierra. I'm fortunate to say that. But nevertheless, she has a lot. She has a lot of wisdom for 18-year old, 18-year old. Destiny as well, because she's the oldest, and of course Star, Equality, who was born with a mild Down syndrome, is probably one of the most smartest babies I've ever seen, despite her genetic situation. Um, she really when I think about Star, as I said to you in the previous thing with the young gods, Malik is my mind, Josiah was my heart, and Justice is my soul. But when it comes to my girls, it's a little different because Destiny is kind of like my fate, right? Where Sierra is kind of like my aspiration. She's kind of like a militant type, like very fiery, where Destiny's kind of more social, but don't push her buttons because then she'll flip on you real quick, which is kind of like how I am. And then Star is the most kindest baby. Like everything is, she'll come to me unannounced and rub my head or do certain things, and she'll tell me she'll come over here and she say happy, sad. Like she always wants to see me happy, and that's a good trait to have. So she's my um, my joy. So you have my fate, my aspirations, and my joy. You know what I mean? Because again, I wish everybody could be like Star.
Oh, that's me.
Yes, you. Yeah. I wish everybody could be like her. So yeah, I feel great, God. Thank you for asking and thank you for having us.
All
I
right.
appreciate it.
Okay. So you mentioned, you know, she has a lot of wisdom.
Yeah, all of them do.
They all do in their own special way.
Yeah.
She didn't grow up with you.
No.
So let me ask you, like, where does this wisdom come from?
I think it's genetics, honestly. I think that in certain situations I had to grow up very fast. And my dad and I building that relationship and having, a father 3,000 miles away, it was just like I had to use what he told me right away. And it was just because, I don't get that consistent reminder. So every time we had a conversation and he said something, I took it and like I utilized it in any way I could. So I think that that's where the wisdom comes from. And I'm a why person. I think all of us are. And so I've always asked why. Like, why is this the way that it is? Why is this happening? Or why, why is my life the way that it is right now? So I'm always asking these questions. And I think that me finding those answers within myself is like why the wisdom is there on a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying?
That's deep.
So, yeah.
That's deep. All right. Let me ask you, Destiny. What's it feel like, being together with your sister right now?
It feels like I'm with like a twin. And even though we didn't grow up with each other, she literally is me in a different body with somewhat of a different way of looking at life. And yeah, it just feels like a twin, and I've always wanted to have a sister who's kind of closer to my age because I'm the oldest between Star and Justice.
Yeah.
So it definitely feels like a relief to have someone who understands what I'm going through as a 20-year-old, and Yeah, it feels great.
So, all right. You good?
Yeah, I'm just doing now, just looking at them.
Yeah. What's it feel like hearing these type of things come
You
out?
know, seeing all of them as babies, you never know what the future's gonna. You hope for the best, of course. You hope that they will be able to be articulate and grounded in their mannerisms and grounded in their mindset. Um, so to hear all of them speak is kind of like wow. I'm kind of like on the outside looking at them, saying, "Wow, they're all grown. Both of them in college. She's in high school." So it's like, man, the time is moving so fast, and I probably missed a lot of important things. I wish I can go back to figure that out, at least to be connected to that. But to see them flourishing the way they are, and they doing what they got to do to better themselves is a great feeling. Glad to see it. Glad I'm here to look at it. I mean, I ain't gonna be here forever, as we all know, but to see them go through this transformation from babies to young teenagers to now young adults. And they got my daughters out of my children. My daughters seem to have more of a groundedness about them than my sons. That's not to take away nothing from the sons because everybody developed differently. But my daughters are more grounded, more seasoned in terms of what they're trying to do. Where my sons, with the exception of Justin, because he's still young yet, the two oldest ones, Malik and Josiah, seem to have a certain way about them that they still trying to figure some things out. Where my daughters kind of just know what they got to do and they're doing it.
Why do you think that is?
I think one is definitely because I've influenced them to do that, not to lean on me. Like as soon as she turned 18, my oldest, I told her, okay, all bets is off. You got to walk on your own too. She just turned 18. I told her the same exact thing, right? So when they reach 18, rule or ruler, that's the alphabet, right? Rule or rule her, right? So now when I look at it from that angle, either they're going to follow my rules or they're going to follow their own rules. The point is they've been following my rules to a degree. They don't like all my rules. Now they got their own rules that others have to follow. And when those other people don't follow their rules, they begin to understand where I was at, where they didn't follow my rules. So it's kind of an interesting twist now. You know what I mean? That they are running their own house, doing their own thing, and then those that are now coming around them, they got to follow their rules if they want to connect. So it's an interesting dynamic for me to see that. Right. You know what I mean? But it feels good. It feels good, nevertheless.
Okay, so if you were to think back when they were all babies,
yeah.
Obviously a lot of time has passed since then.
Yeah.
But what could you say like are some of those early traits that you saw that are still here
well,
now?
I can tell you right now, with Destiny is very stubborn. She will not do anything until she's ready to do it. Right? When she was a little baby, she was about maybe, 7-8 months, I'm gonna say maybe a year. We was back in the desert in Queens at my house, and she wanted these sets of keys, and I made her crawl to get those keys. I wasn't gonna just give it to her. So I kind of instilled that if you want something, you're gonna have to work for it. She was a little baby crawling to get these keys, sweating. Her mother was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "No, I'm preparing her for what's gonna happen to her later on." When Ciara was born out of a C-section. My mother had a C-section. But as she got older, she was an old soul. Like her mannerisms wasn't like most babies. It was very already stern. Like she knew exactly what she wanted to do, and you could not change her mind about it. And kind of like me. And once I was very stubborn. My mother bust me in my head, told me to pick up something. I still refuse to pick it up. My head is bleeding. Pick it up. No, I was very strong-willed, and I think that's what Ciara has now. Star, like I said, is a little different. When she got in trouble, I would not treat her like she had an issue. I treated her normal, like any other baby. You know what I mean? I would punish her, I would spank her, and all that. But she's kind of. Yeah, really. Yeah, really. Yeah, baby, you got it.
I don't remember that.
Well, I remember it. So she's like, really? Yeah, really. So yeah, Star was a very cordial baby. She was because of the situation. She wasn't like the other two, but yet we molded, shaped her to be like the other two, where she wouldn't feel that she had an issue. And if you talk to Star at times, you would swear think that you're the one with the problem as it relates to the situation, because she's so smart. She is so smart, right? What is this? Intelligence. Now I started putting these ideas in her head early. So if anybody ever questioned her because of a disability, she will let them know, look, I'm very intelligent. Right? So that's so for me to look at all of them now to where I seen them when they was a baby, it's just amazing to me to see how they're developing. And I attribute that a lot to their mothers. Their mothers, each and every one of them, with the exception of the two, she has, her mother's not the same, but you wouldn't know that as it relates to how she is. You would think they all was raised by me under the same roof because of their manners and how they do things. You know what I mean? So.